Hey guys, and welcome back for today's college football pick video play. You can check out all of our college football picks for Saturday's action over at our main website, stumpthespread.com, which is linked down in the video description. Also, you can access our daily free play, and that's going to be a pick against the spread in the Tulane versus Navy matchup. And again, you can check all of those picks out over at stumpthespread.com, links down in the video description. Heading into this one, talking about this contest here between Notre Dame and Michigan, and going to give you guys our lean on where we see the better value against the spread with the road team Notre Dame now coming in as slight favorites, giving 1 point in what Vegas figures to be a competitive matchup. Now, there's no denying that Notre Dame has looked better through the first half of the regular season in contrast to Michigan, but the Wolverines' advantage is coming in with that home field edge. And as a result, this is expected to be a competitive contest between these two top 25 opponents. So the road squad, Notre Dame, coming in with a 5-1 overall record. Their only loss came earlier on in the campaign. It's actually a game where they covered the spread for us on the road against Georgia. Very competitive, but losing that one in the end by a final of 17-23. Since that result, the Fighting Irish have picked up 3 straight home victories against Virginia, Bowling Green, and USC, and now they've had some time to prepare for this one as they head out on the road to take on the Wolverines. In terms of their numbers, Notre Dame has been much more consistent on the offensive side of the ball than the Wolverines have shown in 2019. They're averaging almost 40 points per game, while defensively giving up only around 17 points, and very well balanced on the offensive side of the ball, putting up 262 yards per game through the air and about 190 yards per game on the ground. You contrast that over to the Wolverines, who right now are 5-2 overall, and they have not been impressive by any means in this 2019 campaign. The Wolverines, they actually were a bit better than probably a lot of people were expecting last week in that attempt come from behind win against Penn State. We actually took the Wolverines with the points last week. The fact that they were getting over a touchdown, we felt like they were pretty good value there in what could have turned into a defensive battle, and the total in that one hitting 49 points, so maybe a little bit more offensive-oriented than what we can generally see in these Penn State-Michigan matchups. But they had their chances there in the end, weren't able to capitalize, and lost that one by a touchdown. We'll see how the Wolverines refocus coming into this tough one at home off of such a devastating loss to Penn State without how that one transpired. But before that, Michigan had won 3 straight in the Big Ten. Manageable situations, a blowout win at home against Rutgers, and then also a road win over Illinois, and a very low-scoring competitive 10-3 victory over Iowa. And all of these were coming on the heels of that very embarrassing 14-35 loss on the road against Wisconsin. And just taking a look at the whole entirety of Michigan's 2019 campaign, they even opened up with not the most impressive victories at home against opponents like Middle Tennessee State as well as Army. So Michigan, in terms of their numbers, not as good as Notre Dame in terms of just across the board. They're putting up about 237 yards per game through the air, 154 yards per game on the ground. They're averaging around 29 points per contest. All of those a bit worse than what we're seeing from the Fighting Irish. And then also defensively, not quite as good as what we're seeing from Notre Dame, as the Wolverines, giving up 19 points per contest, while that number is a couple points better over on the Fighting Irish side. So just based on the statistics and what we've been seeing from both these squads, you definitely have to give Notre Dame the overall edge, but then you get that home field advantage that's making Michigan a bit more competitive in terms of the spread where we're seeing. But we feel like Notre Dame has the tools to go into a tough road environment and find success. They've won on the road against Louisville to open up the year, and they were very competitive at Georgia. Probably going to be a similar type of atmosphere, maybe not even quite as difficult as that atmosphere presented to Notre Dame. And just the fact that we value Notre Dame overall quite a bit higher than where we've had Michigan at this point in the campaign. With all that being the case, we're going to go ahead side with the road team, taking Notre Dame, giving just the 1 point as the better value bet. If you agree, give the video a thumbs up. Disagree, give it a thumbs down. And you can check out all of our college football picks for today's action over at stumpthespread.com, which is linked down in the video description.